What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Alex. Today, I'm going to be talking about the new Bong Joon-Ho movie, Mickey 17, starring Robert Pattinson, Naomi Ackie, Mark Ruffalo, Toni Collette. Unlikely hero Mickey Barnes finds himself in the extraordinary circumstance of working for an employer who demands the ultimate commitment to the job, to die for a living. Now, I did thoroughly enjoy Mickey 17. I'm a big fan of Bong Joon-Ho. I really love his movies. Parasite's probably his best movie. Okja's really good. Snowpiercer's really good. I know he's made more movies, but that's kind of the baseline knowledge I have of Bong Joon-Ho. So I was really looking forward to Mickey 17, and luckily I walked out of it really, really liking it. I didn't necessarily love it though. I just think that this movie, for the first half at least, or maybe just the first third, felt like it was taking a while to get going. Felt like it was slogging along a little bit. The pacing was a little sluggish. It just didn't really seem like it was setting up what its end goal was necessarily as well as it could have, or it really just couldn't figure out what its end goal was in that first third or so. There's also characters in here that just enter the picture, are here for a few scenes, say a few things, and then exit stage right. That's ultimately what happens. There's no development for them. They're just here to be kind of a foil in Mickey 17's plans. That's it. That really is it. But once the movie focuses up in the second half of the movie and everything starts to fall into place, I really, really enjoyed Mickey 17. Robert Pattinson is fantastic in this movie. I think this is by far his best performance that I have seen. He's going to do so much here. This poor guy has been so discounted by so many because Twilight sucks. Like, we're giving him 5 mulligans for that. He's already rewarded us with those mulligans. The Batman, now this. I mean, he's got so much he's got to do. He's playing 2 separate characters. He's got to distinguish Mickey 17 from a multiple. Mickey 18, as we saw in the trailer. So he's got to come up with a different voice. He's got to come up with different mannerisms. He's got to come up with different body language. It's really a treat to watch 2 Robert Pattinsons act. I could have used more Robert Pattinsons in this movie, honestly. And it's just really interesting to see where he goes as both characters and how they differentiate from each other. And that's really what you have to do if you're playing dual roles. Make them so different from the other character you're playing. Like Mickey 17 is so calm, reserved, maybe a little bit of anxiety driven. He's always by the numbers, whereas Mickey 18, when he's playing him, a deeper voice. He's more aggressive. He's not as passive as Mickey 17. He wants to get shit done. He wants to get shit done the hard way, and he will go out of his way to humiliate anybody in order to get his way until he has an understanding of what's actually happening. I do think that while Bong Joon-ho's themes that he presents in this movie are a bit repetitive from his themes in his other movies, I do think that he is saying something new about each theme that he presents. Like, for instance, every movie of his always says something about social inequality, class, race, gender, whatever it may be, authoritarianism. Yeah, all of his movies have those same themes, but I think Mickey 17 explores those themes in different ways than Okja does, and I think Okja explores those themes in different ways than Snowpiercer does, and I think Snowpiercer explores those themes in different ways than Parasite does. So while it might feel repetitive and a bit like we've been down this road before, I do think that he offers new insights into those themes, even if those themes aren't necessarily new. He's not essentially bringing up new ideas. He's just bringing up new ideologies within those ideas in this movie. This movie is also visually stunning. There's a lot of creatures in this movie, and I could not tell if they were animatronics, if they were practical, if they were CGI. That is how seamless the CGI is. I mean, there had to be CGI on these creatures. There are so many shots towards the end of Mickey 17 where there's a field of creatures on this planet, and I'm like, this is literally like Dune Part 2 level effects. That's how good it is. Like, it felt like it fit seamlessly into the movie. Couldn't tell if any CGI was wonky. Couldn't tell if any CGI really stood out to me. It felt like they took the time to perfect the CGI, if there was CGI, or maybe they just built a lot of practical effects and used animatronics. Who knows? That's why Bong Joon-ho is such a brilliant filmmaker. There are instances here too in this movie where if you look at some of the set design, it did strike me a lot as Snowpiercer. It reminded me of Snowpiercer, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I thought it was just kind of paying homage, or like the vibe to it felt very similar to Snowpiercer for me. There's a scene towards the end where I'm just looking around and I'm like, this reminds me of Snowpiercer, and I haven't seen Snowpiercer in a long time. The only movie of his that I watched before going into this was Okja that I rewatched, and I really liked Okja as well. Yeah, it really reminded me of Snowpiercer, and I was just like, oh yeah. And then everything came back to me of Snowpiercer. I like that little homage to Snowpiercer. Let's talk Mark Ruffalo and Toni Collette because the tone of this movie, it's a dark comedy. The comedy works in a dark, twisted manner, of course, as it should when you are doing a dark, black comedy. But Mark Ruffalo, the way he's playing this character, this authoritarian character, I know what Bong Joon-Ho is going for. It's a critique on a certain somebody that I'm not going to name, and I'm okay with it being a critique on that certain somebody, as it should be. The way Mark Ruffalo played this character, it just felt like it was clashing with the other dark humor of the movie, because you have this dark, twisted humor throughout this movie. Then you have Mark Ruffalo playing this authoritarian figure who's so over the top, goofy, cartoonish. Same with Toni Collette. Like, it just didn't fit. I felt like I was watching a Saturday morning cartoon with like a villain who was twirling his mustache instead of being something so like dark and twisted. It just didn't fit with the vibe and the tone that the movie was going for. So I do think Mickey 17 has some missteps. It took me a little bit to get into the movie because I wasn't sure where this movie exactly was going in the first half. Its pacing felt all over the place, and characters just kind of exit stage right without much to really do. But I think Bong Joon-Ho once again delivers a nice sci-fi movie with themes that resonate to today. And he does a really good job at exploring those repetitive themes from other films in different ways that he's never explored them before. I really enjoyed Mickey 17 with a full bucket of popcorn. So I'm curious to know what you think of Mickey 17. Let me know in the comments below. I will leave my link to my website in the description below as well. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex Madden, and I will see you at the movies somewhere.